on proximal boundary. This is based on a geometrical principle. It helps in mapping the boundary of a city when compared to the cities of nearly same hierarchical level. In bracket, what do we mean by hierarchical level? The same size of population and the economic activity. Nearly same. It helps in mapping the boundary of the city when compared to the cities of nearly same hierarchical level. So we know that cities can be classified on the basis of tier 1 cities, tier 2 cities, tier 3 cities. What do we use? We use the population size. There is metropolitan cities. So what do we use? Kaise tiers alag ho rahe? Depend on the population size. So here also I am trying to make the boundary between what? Between the cities of nearly same hierarchical level. Hierarchical level means the population size and the economic activity. Okay. Then write the influence of the city. The influence of the city is approximated to be the midpoint of the straight line joining the cities. Basically geometric method use kar rahe hain. Same cities hai hierarchical level ki. This is city A, this is city B. The city of the same hierarchical level. I want to know the influence of the city. I use a straight line. I use the midpoint and I say this is the sphere of urban influence of the city A, and this is the sphere of urban influence of the city B. Almost when you say same type of economic activity, this is about the function. Both of them are involved in manufacturing. Both of them have service space. They have same growth potential. So when we say same economic activity, this is about the functions. This is about the growth potential. These are nearly same. Why do we assume? Why do we assume the midpoint? A midpoint क्यों assume करें? There are two reasons. One reason is they are of same hierarchy. One. Second, हम एक principle लगा रहे हैं, that is a principle of least effort, right? So if a person has to travel, let's say from here, so the person would prefer traveling to A rather than traveling to B. If a person is here, a person would prefer traveling to B rather than A. That is based on the principle of the least effort. So one of the assumption is it, or you can write this method uses the concept of the principle of least effort, the principle of the least effort and the principle of least cost. जहाँ पे cost कम होगा वहाँ पे जाएंगे, जहाँ पे traveling cost कम होगा वहाँ पे जाएंगे, effort भी कम होगा और cost भी कम होगा. ठीक है? So you can take this example. If I have to plot the sphere of urban influence of, let's say, Bhopal, you can write this example. This is Bhopal. I want to know the sphere of urban influence of Bhopal. I compare Bhopal to almost same hierarchical level. मैं compare करूंगी भोपाल को या line बनाऊंगी भोपाल की with the cities जो कि same hierarchical level के होंगे. भोपाल से I'll make lines to what cities who are of comparable level, comparable hierarchy. So for example, you have Nagpur, we have Ajmer, Ahmedabad, you have Lucknow, we have Ranchi, nearly Hyderabad. I am not making a line to Delhi. I am not making a line that joins Mumbai, because Mumbai और भोपाल का comparison नहीं है, दिल्ली और भोपाल का comparison नहीं है, चेन्नई और भोपाल का comparison नहीं है, कोलकाता और भोपाल का comparison नहीं है, but I can compare Bhopal to nearly same hierarchical level. So Nagpur, Ahmedabad, Lucknow, Ranchi and Hyderabad. हाँ, तो जब हम उसकी बात कर रहे थे, I was saying कि I would take that function which will actually give me the right results. When I say I will not use Varanasi, when you said yesterday that you will take a function which should be the appropriate function, and you did not incorporate in Varanasi the religious function, because if I would have incorporated religious function, or if R.L. Singh ji would have incorporated religious function, that would have increased, that would have not been appropriate for the planning. Why? Because if Varanasi's religious function I used, it would show that Varanasi has a pressure throughout the year, right? But that is not the influence of Varanasi in real sense. If I actually see, the influence of Varanasi depends on what? कौन bus service ले रहा है, कौन grain supply कर रहा है, कहाँ से मिल्क का सप्लाई हो रहा है, वो उस सिटी का इन्फ्लुएंस है. मतलब वहां तक लोग वाराणसी पे जाना प्रेफर करेंगे, वहां पे लोग वाराणसी पे सेटल होना प्रेफर करेंगे. बट जस्ट बिकॉज वाराणसी हैज अ रिलीजियस फंक्शन, will a person from Delhi try to settle in Varanasi? No. He or she can go visit Varanasi and come back. When I say the influence, the sphere of urban influence, I am saying that a person would be attracted to the city and would want to settle down in the city. And that is the real pressure throughout the year on the resources. नहीं, ये भी क्वांटिटेटिव मेथड अगर मैं यूज करना चाह रही हूँ, या तो मैं सब्जेक्ट में कैसे, किस बेसिस पे डिमार्केट करूँ, या तो मैं सब्जेक्टिव मेथड कर लूँ कि ये मुझे लगा ये भोपाल का इन्फ्लुएंस है, या तो मैं भोपाल को नियर कंपेरेबल से कंपेयर करूं एंड देन मैं बताऊं कि ये उज्जैन का इन्फ्लुएंस यहां तक है, भोपाल का इन्फ्लुएंस यहां तक है, ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ मिड पॉइंट. गॉट इट? सो दिस I will draw probably a city. I would draw cities of nearly comparable hierarchy. I would draw what? I would take the midpoints. I would take the midpoint and then I would say this is the sphere of urban influence of Bhopal. So this becomes the sphere of urban influence of Bhopal. This is a method. Is this method free from limitations? No. There are limitations to this method also. हाँ ठीक है, but then ये method को समझाने के लिए I'm using these examples. You can use other cities example if you think that you can use other cities example, but I use this example to tell you that if I have to compare the influence of these two cities, if I have to compare the influence of Nagpur to Bhopal, नागपुर का भी अपना influence रहेगा to major region, भोपाल का भी अपना influence रहेगा to the major region. इन दोनों के बीच का जो रहेगा that is your midpoint. Why did I use midpoint? Because both of them are nearly the same hierarchical level. Why are we using midpoint? Because we are applying two more principles. That is the principle of least cost and the principle of the least effort. So this is about one idea of the demarcation. You can write the next point. The city region, the city for which the city region is to be demarcated. The city for which the city region is to be demarcated is plotted. हम क्या करें? I am just writing the method. The method involves. What does this method involves? The method involves the city region, the city for which the city region is to be plotted, the city for which the city region is to be demarcated. जिसका city region demarcate करना है उसको हम plot करते हैं. Then the straight lines are drawn. From the city to near comparable cities. The midpoint is plotted on the lines using the principle of a perpendicular bisector. The midpoints are joined and the region depicts the sphere of urban influence. The midpoints are joined and the region depicts the sphere of urban influence of the city. एक मेन सिटी को डिमार्केट करेंगे, प्लॉट करेंगे, उसके साथ नियरली हायरार्किकल सिटीज को प्लॉट करेंगे. द परपेंडिकुलर बाइसेक्टर, द प्रिंसिपल ऑफ द परपेंडिकुलर बाइसेक्टर वुड बी यूज्ड. दिस इज द मेन सिटी. आई एम ड्रॉइंग simultaneously other cities of comparable hierarchy. I am joining them by a line. I am plotting the midpoints and then I join the midpoints. And the region depicts what? The sphere of urban influence of the city. SOUI is the sphere of urban influence of the city. This is the sphere of, or the city region, yeah, umland, whatever you want to write. Umland or the city region or the sphere of urban influence of the city. Okay. A city for which a city region is to be demarcated. Straight lines are drawn. The straight lines are drawn from the city to the near comparable cities. Midpoint on the lines is plotted using the principle of the perpendicular bisector. The midpoints are joined. That region depicts the region of the sphere of urban influence of the city. इसमें जो होता है वो सब्जेक्टिविटी होती है. They actually take into consideration. Basically एक assumption होती है flat. तो हम तो यहाँ पे ऐसे ही join कर रहे हैं. But on reality, on ground, they take into consideration physical features also, and then conveniently they mark. Okay. Next point. The next point. This is a simple method, and involves the assumption. कुछ assumptions involve होते हैं, like flat surface. We assume flat surface. There is assumption of ease of accessibility. The ease of accessibility is uniform. तो जितना easily आप city A में जा सकते हो, उतना easily आप city B में भी जा सकते हो. ठीक है? That is what we are assuming. So we are assuming flat surface. We are assuming ease of accessibility. Better connectivity. That the connectivity is uniform. Suppose you are in Karol Bagh. Okay. Now you have two choices, either to go to Gurgaon or to go to Noida. Both of them nearly same distance. Okay. What would you prefer? Those who say Noida, they are assuming one of the assumption is blue line पे है, blue line पे सीधा जाएंगे. ठीक है. पर गुड़गांव के लिए you'll have to go to yellow line, change from the yellow line, go to that place, and then you'll have to change. ठीक है. The idea is here. This theory assumes that the distance is same or the time travel is same. Then we can either go to this place or that place. But it is not simply about the distance. It is not simply about the flat surface. It is also about the connectivity. What is better connected with the main city? Okay. So for example, if I use this example, the first example, A and B. Okay. And I'm demarcating a boundary here. A और B है, nearly same hierarchical level है. हमने perpendicular bisector भी draw कर दिया. And I say a person at B. What was this theory assuming? Where will the person go? A. But a person D can also travel to B, depending on what? The ease of accessibility, the ease of connectivity. So ये जो assumption है, these are simplifying assumptions. These assumptions, जो लोग को अभी भी confusion है, the reason you have confusion is because the one who said Gurgaon was also that मेरा choice है. अच्छा लगता है तो अच्छा लगता है, reason नहीं पता. ठीक है, मेरा choice है. I don't have any rational justification कि ये क्यों अच्छा लगता है. ठीक है, तो मेरा choice है. So these assumptions are simplifying assumptions, and they discount. These assumptions are simplifying assumptions, and they discount the factors like choices. They discount the factors like choices, preferences. दिल आया गद्दी पे तो परी क्या चीज है. ठीक है, तो ये assumptions है. ठीक है, ये assumptions है. They are not taking into consideration the choices. They are not taking into consideration the preferences that an individual has. ठीक है, तो quantitative method का सबसे बड़ा limitation पता है क्या होता है? One, that is it consider man as a rational economic man. But in reality, we have choices, we have preference, we have our own motivations. ठीक है, so this is the first quantitative method, that is your proximal boundary method. The second method, you don't say that not effective for planning. These assumptions restrict the applicability of the model in planning. Yes, affordability is also a factor. Simplifying assumptions hai, considered man as a dot, has rational economic, considers man to be a rational economic man.